What do voters in Pennsylvania care about most? We haven't seen the most recent polls, but we would guess law and order is at the very top of that list. Why do we think that? Well, here's video from a story that a local television station, Fox 29, is doing tonight about murder in Philadelphia, the state's largest city. You're seeing the pictures on your screen right now. Reporter Chris O'Connell went to a nearby cemetery and asked how things were going. Workers there told him, quote, "We can't dig graves fast enough." That's how many young people are being murdered in Philadelphia right now. We can't dig graves fast enough. When was the last time you heard that? You didn't hear it during COVID, the global pandemic that politicians told you was the worst thing ever to happen to America. But COVID wasn't the worst thing ever to happen to America. And over time, people figured that out. They learned they had been lied to. And that's one of the reasons so many Americans now hate politicians. They're tired of the lying. And it's the very same reason that voters will tend to reward any candidate who tells the truth about what is actually happening and what actually matters. Here's one thing that actually is happening and actually matters, something that everybody sees, but that candidates virtually never mention, and that is stealing. Suddenly there's a huge amount of stealing in the United States. It's everywhere. That's a problem because stealing is a crime, a moral crime. In fact, it's the first crime that most of us learn not to commit as children. Don't steal. Don't take what doesn't belong to you. It's immoral, and it certainly is immoral. Yet somehow in the last few years, our leaders, Democrats mostly, but honestly to some extent both parties, our leaders have decided that stealing isn't really such a big deal. It's not really a crime. Certainly not something we should be worried about. In a country this rich, with this much income inequality, how can you really tell people not to take from those who are better off than they are? That's their attitude. It's a decadent attitude, but that's what they really believe, even if they don't always say it out loud. So without any sort of public referendum, the kind you would have in a democracy, cities around the country have effectively decriminalized stealing. So what's been the effect of this? Well, more stealing. And stealing quickly metastasizes into looting and then social collapse. That's happening right now, everywhere. Here's footage from a grocery store in Los Angeles. That footage is followed by footage of a crowd of criminals storming a 7-Eleven. Why? So that's LA. Could be anywhere. We saw that on the internet this morning, and we were shocked by it, transfixed by it, really. It's repulsive, but that's happening. Why isn't every Republican candidate in the nation running ads with that footage in it? No one is, as far as we know. Most are just ignoring the chaos. But that doesn't mean it isn't real. It is real, and again, because it's not addressed, it's spreading. Starbucks just closed 16 stores nationwide because of increasing theft. It's going unpunished. Target just reduced its operating hours in 6 San Francisco stores. They used to close at 10 so people could buy stuff after work. Now they're going to close at 5. Why? Because of crime, stealing. Walgreens shut down 17 stores altogether. Stores now losing an average of $45 million a day because of theft. What does that add up to? The disintegration of society. That's not an overstatement. You see it everywhere. Robbery up dramatically in New York. It's so bad in New York that grocery stores are locking spam and ham and anti-theft cases. Robberies up 12% in San Francisco, 20% in LA. Motor vehicle thefts are also up by similar numbers. So the Biden administration is constantly lecturing you about civil rights. Crime is the most basic violation of civil rights. And they're doing nothing. If they cared, instead of sending tens of billions of dollars to corrupt oligarchs in Ukraine, more money for Zelensky, maybe they could send the money to immigrant convenience store owners for security. But they're not.